Ladies and gentlemen, this is absolutely huge. I might be the first person on YouTube to catch on to this, and it's very, very important. You'll start seeing people talk about this in the next couple of weeks. CNN, I talked about this on my video at 8 a.m. in the morning. I talked about a resignation or possible indictment even after he leaves office, possibly before, but likely after. He doesn't have the power as senator to declassify information. Okay, CNN, there's a CNN article, FBI searches Biden's Wilmington home and finds more classified material. It's like the third or fourth time, maybe fifth time they've found more classified material. But here, quote, material taken dates back to Biden's Senate days. He was senator from the late 70s to 2009. Okay? You can't declassify senator. If you want to say he can declassify as vice president, you'd be wrong. He can't declassify everything, only things that his office classified originally. Then he can declassify. You can't just declassify any intel documents at will like a president can. Completely different from Trump, which it was like a non-story they made into the biggest fiasco of all time. They sensationalized everything. They didn't find people or experts or authorities who said, no, that's not true. What they do is they fabricate a consensus. We speak to experts. We spoke to this expert. They should really say, we spoke to a very smart person who only votes Democrat and agrees with us. Because you can find a whole lot of very smart people to say, yeah, Trump, he was a former president, completely different. You want to say, well, he shouldn't have done that. That's a different story. You're not going to indict a former president because Bill Clinton had a judge rule in his favor saying that he could have classified data next to his underwear. Okay, that's literally a court case the judge cited because he was writing a book and the classified documents were on tape and they were his personal possessions or recollections. And they were all classified. But that was after, of course, he left office. Trump could verbally declassify anything as president according to Politico. But this is really, really huge. And it could lead to his resignation. I believe they want to just gently, have him resign, have a Nixon moment where he's like, I'm not a crook, and then he leaves, and you have Kamala Harris, Vice President Harris as the president. I don't believe they want a year and a half of impeachment because they understand that he very likely committed crimes with Hunter. You can definitely prove from the New York Post and Daily Mail and Federalist and other publications, especially the New York Post, those emails point to criminality. When you hear in media, wow, really, there's no there. There's nothing there. Honestly, they hide in plain sight the obvious corruption. Of course, there's you can easily find emails, like one email, how can you use your influence on the company's behalf? It's right within that email. And then there are money transactions that are very corrupt, that 150 times financial institutions had to investigate. Okay? They're not the Clintons. They can't get away with all of this stuff. They're the Bidens. Okay? The Clintons can get away with private servers and everything else, siphoning classified and top secret intelligence outside the U.S. government. So, that's a million times worse than what Biden did, by the way. But anyway, I think that Hillary will be the 24 nominee. I think that this is not normal, but here, if you look, CNN, President's service in the Senate, some of which were from the President's service in the Senate. This is the fourth time they're going to probably find a whole lot of classified data, also from his time in the Senate, more classified data from his time in the Senate, okay? This is a bad thing for Biden. Very, very bad. Okay? The reason is that he cannot declassify, and I explained this in my last segment, okay? He cannot declassify as senator. So all the arguments defending Biden, he was a vice president, he could declassify, all those same arguments that the benefit of the doubt they never gave Trump, who, by the way, was commander-in-chief and had the Supreme Court rule on his side as a president, okay? There's a Supreme Court precedent. There's no precedent in the Supreme Court. They're just focusing on an executive order from President Obama that allowed a tiny level of authority for the vice president. But anyway, you cannot declassify as a senator anything, okay? The fact that he probably has a trove of classified documents from the 70s to 2009, just all over the place. The man was senator from the 1970s until 2009. You think maybe he's misplaced more than just 4 different locations? You think maybe Hunter has had access to classified data? Almost certainly. So it's a nightmare for Democrats, but it's like when you see those old Vegas hotels, okay? And then they build new Vegas hotels. This is a controlled, strategic, political stunt by Democrats. Okay? They have immense influence in the Department of Justice, obviously, and immense influence with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. And of course, they didn't raid with like Mar-a-Lago. It was on a weekend. Okay, it's the same thing. And the Bureau knows there's criminality. But everything's done. But now, the curveball that I was talking about is the Senate documents. He cannot declassify. And if he lost documents that are classified as senator, Republicans can indict him after his tenure. Give me your thoughts below. I'm going to continue, but hit subscribe every day, 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. on this channel, ladies and gentlemen. This is huge. And also, I'll have segments 8 a.m. and 11 a.m., 9 a.m. and 12 p.m. on H.A. Goodman's other channel. Check out H.A. Goodman's other channel. Become part of a Patreon. To my new Patreons, thank you so very much. To my super thanks, that's below. Thank you so much. I will thank you in the comments section. Become a member of the channel and go to hagoodman.com to read my writing in The Hill, The Huffington Post, Salon, The Jerusalem Post, The Federalist, and other publications. Ladies and gentlemen, so this is a really, really huge story. And when people say, well, nothing's ever going to happen, like, what do you expect him? They're going to fly him to Alcatraz tomorrow? It's not going to happen. But it's slowly unraveling. Everything is unraveling. None of this is normal. And when you have Adam Schiff and Warnock and all of these people and Pelosi staying quiet, and it's like they impeached Trump and censored the New York Post just to get mashed potato brains in office. And now they're decided not to defend him. You think maybe they're doing a Bernie Sanders type thing? Of course. And by the way, left, right, center, communist, socialist, whatever you are, Democrat, libertarian, Trump supporter, Trump voter like myself, God bless you. I don't care about tribalism. You're watching this channel, I appreciate it. And may you have a wonderful, amazing, beautiful, safe, and healthy, and happy 2023. It's wild out there. Just be safe and happy and healthy. And thank you for watching. The CNN article also will be below. There's a PBS article explaining when the Bureau found, first of all, do you think maybe the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the Democratic National Committee, and Pelosi are a little smarter than Biden? You think maybe they know that the man is a walking national security risk with Hunter? Mainly Hunter is the national security risk. Probably Biden also. You think maybe they know all the criminality? You think maybe that it's very easy to deceive half of the United States of America, because half of the United States of America has an unhealthy obsession with disliking Trump. And so they'll believe anything. And Democrats have become a religion. So people, uranium? What's the problem? It's just a commodity. They'll believe anything. As long as you get a lot of smart people and all the publications saying the same thing all at once, then they turn on a dime and say a different thing. Trump, classified documents. Oh my God. Well, Biden, classified documents. Not that bad. But here's the curveball. Here's the wrinkle. Here's the bizarre element here that Democrats will use, I think, to get him to resign. The Senate documents create a whole new perspective. Now he can't declassify because senators can't declassify documents in the manner that a president can, or even a vice president. And he was senator from the late 70s to 2009. So you do the math on that. Then he has Hunter, who had access to the classified documents. So there's really no reason, by the way, to even investigate Biden, because there was no reason to go after Trump, but there's also no reason for Democrats. You see how they protect and defend and circle the wagons with Democrats. So it's very, very, out of character and bizarre for Democrats to suddenly grow a conscience and go after Biden, because they're so apolitical and they want what's the truth, and even if it hurts them. No, that's not the case. They're doing this for a political purpose. Okay? For a political purpose. And finding the Senate documents is a new thing. Then they'll say that Hunter had access, and then it's like game over for that presidency. The second they say Hunter had access to it, Republicans can immediately, go for impeachment, and then they can say, well, you know what? The Republicans are frenzied, immoral savages. And so what we're going to do is we're going to have Biden resign, and because he's a beautiful person, and then the first, and then he'll leave, and then we'll have a Vice President Harris, and then Biden, they won't be able to, go after the Bidens anymore, because they're good people. And then he'll be just, right off into the sunset, and then on all the arguments, he's a good person. This isn't Nixon. This is a good man. And then Hillary will come in. Why aren't I 50 points ahead? And then it'll be Trump. We have to stop Trump. Our democracy's at stake. And they'll eat it up. The average Democrat is vote blue no matter who. They don't care. They'll vote for Fetterman. They'll vote for anybody. A fern, a house cat, doesn't matter. And with Herschel Walker and Blake Masters, a candidate quality. How's the candidate quality with Biden and Fetterman? How is that candidate quality? It doesn't matter for Democrats. Anything that happens, private service, cheating Bernie Sanders, Biden resigning, they don't care. They don't care. They could find out a handwritten note. Yes, we were selling access to the United States government for cash. Signed Bill, Hillary, Hunter, and Joe, and they wouldn't care. They'd still vote for him because Trump is worse. Even though Trump is obviously not, Trump was a great president and he didn't commit crimes because they haven't indicted him. We know that. They could have indicted these Democrats we're talking about, but the cover-up is slowly morphing into, maybe we can get Hillary in there just, without the impeachment. The Senate documents are huge. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. The Senate documents that he can't declassify make it an overt criminal act. Give me your thoughts. I'll be back in a couple of hours, everybody. Thank you.